So thank you. I'm here on behalf of the City Commission and, of course, my esteemed colleague, Commissioner Ben Sorensen. Thank you, Ben, for being here today. And I know it hasn't been sunny this morning, but I think this project certainly shines on this community so brightly for what we've been able to accomplish. Because as you know, a little while back, we suffered the tragedy of a sewer break in our community. And what occurred there was difficult for everybody, not just this neighborhood, but Rio Vista and all the way up through Coral Ridge. And it was an opportunity for us to step back and realize how important it is that we take care of ourselves, that we make sure that the things that aren't so sexy to talk about or think about are still the business of this city. And with this project, we've been able to accomplish so much, and it's just the beginning of what we need to do to rebuild Fort Lauderdale. So we're standing here on the new 54-inch main sewer line that runs from the lift station way up in Coral Ridge Country Club all the way down here to the Lomar treatment plant. As you can see over here to my right was the before picture, what it was like during construction. I don't think I have to remind you what it was like during construction. Those of you that lived here and yeah. But look what we have today. We have a magnificent, beautiful restoration project that I think we can all be proud of. The infrastructure projects like this installation are necessary for the entire city, and I know that this neighborhood really suffered a lot of the construction inconveniences and just having all the trucks running up and down here for weeks after week, and lots of noise and dust, and but look what we have now. A beautiful bikeway, a beautiful restoration project, and landscaping with native plants, really respecting our community and our environment so that it is sustainable for this neighborhood. I want to thank the extraordinary vision of the Harbordale residents. Southeast 10th Avenue was redesigned as a complete street to include the 54-inch sewer main, a new water main, improved signage, new asphalt, striping, and concrete planters. The native landscaping was used to create a haven for birds, butterflies, and other wildlife. In fact, the National Wildlife Federation deemed this area along Southeast 10th Avenue as a certified wildlife habitat. And I have the sign here to prove it. So congratulations, Harbordale. We will put that in a place of prominence. But more than that, Broward County, our dear county folks, have designated and certified this property is recognized by the county as an official naturescape property. This Florida-friendly property conserves and protects our precious water resources and provides valuable wildlife habitat. So there we go, another accolade for Harbordale. Thank you. So I really want to thank our city manager, Chris Lagerblum, the Public Works Department, our engineering department, all the folks that really made this happen. Transportation and Mobility, Parks and Recreation, and of course, our first responders, our police department, our fire department. Thanks, fellas, for being here this morning on our beautiful horses. Always a wonderful compliment to every event that we do here, so thank you for all the work you do and the sacrifice you make for our communities. So, I know a lot of hours have been put into this, a lot of days, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of agony, but you can be sure that this commission is continued to be committed to fulfilling its pledge to making Fort Lauderdale a place where we are going to build back better, and we're going to make sure that we are a community that's going to be sustainable and is going to be the best city in the 21st century that this state of Florida has ever seen. And I'd like to now introduce my colleague, Commissioner Ben Sorensen, who'd like to share a few words. Ben.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Really appreciate it. And thanks for being here. And thank you all for being here and celebrating. I think, as the mayor said, when we were all elected, we said we are going to invest in the infrastructure like never before. And we've done that. And thanks to Marilyn Mamano, the president of Harbordale Civic Association. Give it up for Marilyn. Raise your hand. Do some jumping jacks, Marilyn. She's amazing. I won't tell you her age. She is a youthful, exuberant leader, not only as president of the Civic Association, but Marilyn's also, are you currently still the chair of the Infrastructure Task Force, which basically is assessing and evaluating the entirety of the city's infrastructure? Another, I think, wonderful addition that the City Commission has made, and so Marilyn's leading the effort citywide, how to make improvements. So just so grateful for Marilyn making this happen. And the Civic Association, I know Marilyn will get into this, but the board members of the Harbordale Civic Association, the members, the neighbors, you all have helped make this happen. It's been day in and day out. You saying, hey, what about this? Can we do this? Can we help with this? And that's what makes, I think, good government, is people who actually are on the streets, living here, helping us as at times knuckleheaded elected officials, at least I'll speak for myself, need guidance and help and direction, exactly, and support, and that's what's been happening. Also really like to thank David Mancini Sr. and Jr. for helping make this possible. Just amazing work, and the care and responsiveness to the neighbors is just amazing. So thank you to Mancini team. Also our Public Works team, Omar's here. We got amazing team from Public Works. Give it up for our Public Works team. Christian, just amazing that they put customers first and put our neighbors first. And as a result, we get amazing, successful projects like this, where it's not just kind of fixing things, but it's making things as they have never been before in amazing new ways. And not only just kind of going through 10th Ave, you see this amazing vista, and then when you hit the turn, amazing new, safety measures there, and it's just an exciting totality of the project. So as the mayor said, I just want to thank our city leadership and our other commissioners too, who have supported us and supported this new investment in infrastructure. Vice Mayor Moritas, Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner Glassman, all part of the team here. So thank you all. Thank you for being part of this. And I'll like to bring up the most important part of making this all possible, your president, Marilyn Mamano.
I am not worthy.
Yeah, oh, yes, you are.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you, Ben, and you, Mr. Mayor, for all that you do for our community. And our neighborhood, Harbordale, is blessed with residents who have a passion and a commitment to sustainability. We work all year round on Green Your Routine projects, recycling, street cleaning, tree planting. 10 years ago, we worked with the city and the Florida Department of Transportation to create this beautiful pedestrian bikeway walkway. It was part of the Safe Streets to School program, and for 10 years, we, our residents, and the residents of Rio Vista and the residents of Lauderdale Harbors, we've all enjoyed this beautiful amenity. We knew we were going to lose it during the necessary construction of the 54-inch main sewer line. Restoring to pre-existing ornamental plants and shrubs was the original plan. But thanks to the extraordinary commitment of our residents to sustainability and a successful partnership between all of us, what you see today is a reimagined landscape of Florida-friendly plants, palms and shrubs. We have a true native habitat that supports birds and butterflies. It was no surprise to me when a group of Southeast 10th Avenue residents proposed to reimagine the landscape with sustainable Florida-friendly plants. We brought this idea to the city staff and asked them for patience while we put together a plan. We asked them for their feedback and suggestions. We had many meetings. I can't tell you how many meetings we had during COVID with masks and social distancing. We're all out here on the street. Okay? So first, I want to thank the city staff, the individual city staffs. In addition to the mayors thanking all of the departments, there were particular people who I want to thank. One of them was the Public Works project manager, Kristen Kandel. Christian, you with us today, Christian?
Yeah,
Raise your hand, Christian. There he
He's on the
is.
phone. He's working.
He's working.
Yeah, Chris.
All right. Okay. I also want to thank people, Mark Williams. I don't know if Mark could make it today. He was just
There's
getting.
Mark.
Hey, Mark Williams.
Mark.
Urban Forester. Very, very good partnership we have with our urban forester. People who couldn't be here today, I don't think, were people from Transportation and Mobility, Karen Warfel and Shelby Rodriguez. They were amazing with the signage and the safety improvements on the street. And then I also want to thank Trevor Jackson. Trevor, you with us? You were here this morning. Hey, Trevor. Trevor and his team from the Parks Department who keep the place looking great and worked with us, and thank you so much, Trevor. Okay? So we regularly updated all of our members to engage them in the process. We agreed to cover the cost differential, if there was one, between the original restoration and the Florida-friendly restoration. Harbordale has for many years been supporting with our tremendous program. We use our dues, we use our grants that we get from recycling projects, and we have been supporting that tree planting and sustainability projects throughout our community. So with goodwill and patience on all sides, we have arrived at this beautiful morning. But second, and very briefly, I know, the bugs are coming, but briefly, I want to thank certain amazing residents for their vision, passion, commitment, and expertise who are largely responsible for that, making this happen. I want to bring up Cynthia Lowe, our Vice President and Urban Forester. Cynthia? And Scott Busser, who is a new resident and a new member of the board. And a big shout out to Bob Dugan, who lives down the street but is working this morning, and he's a landscape architect and a resident. And it was these three people who had the idea and who put in the time and the commitment. And I would love to give them a few minutes, just 2 minutes each, to say a few words. Okay, Cindy.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. It's not every day we have a celebration for a sewer pipe. But this is the exception. We are really here to acknowledge and celebrate the incredible collaboration between several city departments, including Parks and Rec, Urban Forestry, Transportation and Mobility, the Cemetery, and Harbordale Civic Association, and of course, the wonderful David Mancini Jr. and his construction crew. Over the last year and a half, we all worked together in making our vision a reality. And now we have a gorgeous streetscape that is also environmentally friendly and sustainable. A happy place for birds, pollinators, and people. We are extremely fortunate and proud that Harbordale Civic Association has always been focused on bringing good environmental stewardship to our neighborhood. And we feel this project sets a good example of how we can all work together through our civic associations. And if any of you need to re-up or join, you can go to harbordale.org, and it's a $15 membership. But the project has been a very positive experience for all of us, and I hope we can go forward with the same generosity of spirit that everyone involved in this project displayed. I'll close now with a quote from my favorite band, the Beatles. I get by with a little help from my friends.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Busa. I'm a resident here right on 10th Avenue. I woke up one morning, or actually I came home from work, and found all my native trees in my front yard were missing, and there was a 10-foot hole there, and I thought, what's going on? I thought the sewer pipe was actually across the street, right where we're standing, and David Mancini Jr. said, sorry, your front door is where the old sewer pipe and the new sewer pipe are gonna meet. And so you get to have it, guys, right. I get to have the cross connection right outside of my front door. And so I was very concerned with the trees that we're taking down at the time and thought, oh, what are we gonna do? And they said, don't worry, we'll put them back. That's when I got involved in saying, well, geez, if we're gonna put my trees back, we need to think about the whole neighborhood and all the trees that are gonna get put back there. And so we talked to a lot of stakeholders that haven't been mentioned. So first of all, we're blessed to have the beautiful Evergreen Cemetery here, which is actually a bird sanctuary. And so one of the things that we did is we went out and we talked to some of the bird watchers, the Audubon Society members, who gather here in the spring and the fall every year to see the warblers come through. And we asked them, what should we plant? And they said, well, Simpson stopper would be a good plant for the warblers to eat. And so we put those in. We met with Mark Williams, our urban forester, and he made some suggestions, some of the native trees, the Florida thatch palms, and the West Indian cherry as something that we could have in our landscape here. We went over to Snyder Park Butterfly Garden, met with Joan Starr, who's not here today, I don't believe, but she gave us some ideas on the native blue porterweed and the coontie, which is a home to the native Atala butterfly, which is a rare and threatened butterfly that we can now have on our street here too. We put in the state tree, the sable palm, the state wildflower, the coreopsis or tick seed. We had some grasses grown that sort of are a natural bird feeder. They get the heads of seeds on them, and that's the dwarf Waxahachie grass that we've got there. We put in wild coffee, unfortunately not for the wild coffee that it would generate, but for the seeds that it would give to the birds and the flowers. Now moving ahead, not everything will make it. We're going to be putting in some replacement plants. Some of them didn't do so well. Some of them had some run-ins with traffic. So we've started putting in some new test plants that we've got, the Jamaican caper. The city folks, Trevor, actually just planted a really nice tree for us down at the one end that's a native long-lived lignum vitae, which is another rare tree. And I know the mayor's going to help here in a second with another new plant that we've got too. So looking forward to keeping it up and keeping after this stuff and thinking about our wildlife and our pollinators and birds. So
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Did I tell you I was blessed, with people who have expertise and passion? So, having done that, I also want to say that last but not least, we need to thank David Mancini Jr. Vision, passion, and commitment and expertise are necessary, but the magic ingredient is luck sometimes. And our lucky ingredient was David Mancini. Not only was he infinitely patient with our process. Every time a new plan would come out, he'd look at it, he'd send it over to his people, they'd look at it, he'd say, we got to get this done, Marilyn.
He shook his head.
Right. He got so involved in this that he even volunteered to split the additional cost of doing the native landscaping. And when it was finished, and I was sitting with Tom Lull, our treasurer. Tom Lull is here today. And we were making out the check, and I emailed David, and I said, David, who do I make this check out to? And he said, you know what? He said, I got this. So we want to thank David Mancini very much. David, you got us, and so we got this for you. Come on up, David. Oh, there we go. Don't drop it. No, here we go.
Wow. Thank you.
David. So it says, to David Mancini Jr., thank you. You went above and beyond the Harbordale Civic Association. So can we all get in here and take this?
Thank you. Better than any check, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Are you going to get that too? All right. One more photograph.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right. And now to complete this collaboration, we want to invite the mayor. We want to invite Commissioner Sorensen, the Harbordale Civic Association team, and the David Mancini team to go over and plant the red stopper tree, which is the official last tree that we're going to be putting on our bikeway, except, of course, that Scott and Cindy and everybody else are going to be continuously working on this. And these are volunteer opportunities for our members. We'll be doing volunteer projects on cleaning and fixing. So thank you very much for